Another thing you talk about in the book is how to prepare an organization to meet the challenges of change.
Yeah.
What are some ways that you recommend in the book to do stuff like that?
So obviously, 15 acquisitions. Each time we bought another company, their culture didn't match our company, and we were generally buying companies that had similar product lines. In some cases, identical product lines. We had to pick which one we were going to keep and what we were going to do, and basically we were rolling up a particular industry. But one of the things that I focused on early on was to help people understand data. I've been very, very data driven. And so what I like to say to people is, let's get the data without the drama, and let's understand what our strategy is going forward. And so then do that. The data says your cost of goods is 78%. It needs to be 55%. That's a fact. That's what we need to be competitive in the industry. So that's an anchor point for people then to say, now let's go away and figure out what do we do to start shaving that off in a continuous improvement manner, and engage the people in making those decisions. But I try to create this culture where we're going to work this out together, and we're going to, bring stuff to the table to talk about. What's non-negotiable is that we're not going to change or improve. What is negotiable is how we get there.
Yeah. And you got to really have people's buy-in nowadays. People want to feel like they're contributing more to the work that they're doing. And
I like to say that you don't build success by replacing people. You build it by developing people. I mean, if I end up having to replace somebody, it's been real clear for months that they're missing the mark. And oftentimes people will just say, Bill, maybe this isn't the right place for me, and they move on. But I don't need to punish people. You don't need to embarrass people. Yep. But if you develop people, if you can get somebody to understand, I see where the gap is, help me bridge the gap, then they're going to contribute more, and they're going to really appreciate working for you.
Yeah. I learned a long time ago in business that I am not, as a CEO, the center of the universe when it comes to great ideas. I thought I was for a short time, and then I realized that I'm more at the center of 50-50 bad ideas versus good ideas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ownership and accountability really, really matter. And I think you get there by delegation and trust and decision making at the right level in the organization. And so I think people perform better when they own the planning and the outcome. As I used to say to my children, the same thing my mother used to say to me: life is full of choices. All choices have consequences. And I'm going to hold you accountable for the consequences of your choices. And I found that to be applicable in a business standpoint. And what I try to do is give people as much latitude to make decisions. But there's one model that I really, really have implemented that I call cooperative, discussions and consensus decision making. So it goes like this: if you have 6 people, first off, you have a problem that you want to solve. You get all the data, you get the facts, you put them on the table, you bring in the 6 people, and let's assume that those 6 people have 6 different experiences. So you've got 36 levers on that problem. And if you stand back and just let them talk about that, let them share that, they're going to come up with a better solution than I'm ever going to think of. And what I say to the team is, at the end of the day, whatever you guys decide on as a consensus, that's the decision we're going to make. And someone will say to me, yeah, but Bill, what if you don't like it? I said, it doesn't matter. I'm willing to bet on the wisdom of the crowd, that I'm going to bet on the 6 of you with your 6 each experiences. You're going to come up with the best solution. And you know what? We're going to implement it, and we're going to monitor it. And if it doesn't turn out to be right, I'd rather have you guys make 10 decisions today than me make one, knowing that 8 of those are going to be mostly directionally correct. One of them will be a winner, and one of them will look at each other and say, why did we ever decide that? But at least we get 10 decisions made today, and not just me telling everybody what to do.